I will give you a series of events from history. You just have to write down the year in which you think they happened, and whoever is closest will win themselves a point. OK? Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice is published. It'll be a Thursday, because all books are published on a Thursday.
September.
But which...
Christmas market.
For the Christmas market. Oh, the New Austen... Yeah, New Austen would definitely be a Christmas book.
Yeah.
Perry, it's not 100 BC, I promise. Promise you.
Oh, no clues, please.
Yeah, sorry. OK, everyone's in. Perry, what are you thinking here?
I've gone for 1940.
1940. So you come up a lot from 100 BC.
Yeah.
Have you come up too much, would be my question.
Probably.
Yeah. Kyle, what are you thinking?
I actually think what I've written is wrong.
OK, well, you should have written something else.
I think it was a little bit later, maybe, but I've put 1867.
1867, says Kyle. Professor Alice Roberts, what are you thinking?
I've got a bit earlier. 1820.
1820.
Yeah, I've come right down the middle there, too, with 1837.
So we've got 3 19th centuries and a 20th century. What have you got at home on this one, Pride and Prejudice? Shall we find out and see who's won the points? 1813. Alice, you're the closest. Very well done. 1813. In what year was Guy Fawkes executed? It's one of those ones where we've all been taught it at school.
I should know this.
You should know. You should. I like you said that like you know the guy.
What year?
Like Chris knows Ben Stokes. Do you know what? I'm with the same management company as Guy Fawkes.
No, we did like a...
I should know this one.
We did a horrible history sketch on it, and so I was...
Yeah.
Is it year or the day?
Yeah.
No, I meant...
Were you just going to write November the 5th?
Yeah. That's what I was clarifying.
That's a clever workaround. OK, everyone in, what do you think at home on this one? Guy Fawkes. Chris.
Yep.
What are you saying?
I'll put 1824 because I like the mixture of numbers with that. I had no idea.
A lovely mixture of numbers. Toya.
I've gone far earlier because it wasn't in Queen Elizabeth's time, and I can't remember who was the king at the time, but I think it was in the 1600s.
Yeah, way back. 1675, says Toya. Inel, where are you?
Oh, I just put some numbers down. There was no thought behind it because I couldn't recount.
1876, you starred in a sketch about Guy Fawkes on Horrible Histories, but...
I won't be in the next series.
Has it helped you out at all? Deborah, what are you saying?
I've gone quite close to what Toya said.
1668.
1668.
So we've got the gents are in the 19th century, the ladies in the 17th century. What do you think at home? What century are you in? When was Guy Fawkes executed and who has won the point? 1606. Deborah, you win the point. Very well done.
Good answer, girls.
1606. The next thing, let's see if Inel's been in a sketch about this. Claude Moët founds the champagne producer that bears his name. When did that happen? Yeah, it's Moët, not Moët.
He's obviously French, right?
Oui.
So he calls himself Moët?
Well, not anymore.
OK, that's a clue. He's not alive.
What do you think at home on this one? Everyone's in. Toya, what do you think about this, Claude Moët?
Well, I believe it's in the 1800s. I think I've gone too late in the 1800s, thinking about it. I've gone for 1870.
1870. I like your certainty over champagne.
It's a very glamorous era, just culturally so rich, so I think it's
1870. Inel, what are we saying?
Oh, same rationale as Toya there. Like, culturally, it was so rich. Everyone was being flamboyant and they wanted to kind of celebrate. So, therefore, I've gone for the same date as before. 1876.
1876. Very close. How about that, Deborah? Have you gone far away from that?
We're all on the same wavelength.
Oh. 1871.
Nice.
This is exciting. Chris, have you gone like 1420?
I believe it was culturally rich, but in 1949...
Very culturally rich, wasn't it? Just after the war, 1949. Nicely done.
I bet you've won.
Yeah. No, I can't. Let me tell you now, I've not won.
Let's find out. When did Claude Moët found his champagne company? 1743.
Wow.
And Toya, you get the point. You're closest.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, they've kept that going, haven't they?
Yeah, haven't they? They have kept that going. You're quite right.
Must be
They've
doing
done
well.
very well for themselves.
Good stuff.
Final question in this round, final date I'm looking for. Emperor Theodosius abolishes the ancient Olympic Games. In what year did that happen, please? I mean, it's got the word ancient in there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You must have done an ancient Olympic Games sketch, I know.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I was probably in it. I probably played him.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I knew I recognised the name.
Yeah.
That's tough, that.
Yeah.
They're all pretty tough, but that
Yeah.
is tough.
Everyone is in. Inel, we will start with you. What are you thinking on this?
I just put a random number before Christ. So, I've got 600 BC.
600 BC,
Hey?
says Inel. Deborah, what are you saying?
I've gone for
500 AD, or Common Era.
AD,
CE.
current era, yeah.
CE we say now, don't we?
CE
Yeah.
I've put.
Chris, what do you say? Have you gone like 1986?
No, not that. I went for 1232.
1232? Toya.
There might be a clue in this that he abolished the ancient Olympic Games
Yes.
of the god Olympia, and it could be a more modern time. I've put 2000 BC, but I'm now
2000
thinking...
BC.
Do you know, I bet Deborah's right.
This is crazy, these numbers. I don't know what I'm looking at.
I give up with this round. I give up with this.
What do you think at home on this one? When did this emperor, I'm not going to pronounce his name again, abolish the ancient Olympic Games? Who scored the final point of the round? 393. Deborah, really close. Well done. Deborah gets herself a point. Final point of the round. Pluto is discovered by astronomer Clyde Tombaugh. So when was Pluto discovered? So it's not a planet anymore, is it, Pluto?
Is it not?
No, it got relegated. It's a dwarf planet now.
It's all relative as well. There's probably smaller planets out there as well that we haven't discovered.
You know what I mean? So what's Pluto done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, don't get me started.
Yeah. It's when they found out it was a Disney character.
What do we think? When was Pluto discovered, everybody? James, what are you thinking?
Human beings, they've been well into their astronomy, and they
Oh, yeah.
absolutely love it.
Well into it.
But as you say, tiny little thing.
Yeah, so it's going to take a
Difficult
while.
to have a look at.
Yeah, it's not like Jupiter.
Exactly. Needed the sun.
Yeah.
Needed
Yeah, they found that a long time ago.
needed the right apparatus to see it. So I've gone for 1750.
1750.
Technology would have been.
Yeah, I got you.
Might have been there.
Amy, where are you on this?
I've gone much later because I feel like Pluto was last to the party and then first to leave.
But, oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's right. That's just my
1900. Yeah?
gut feeling.
Does it sound crazy? Romilly, what are you saying?
I am saying 1888.
Okay, similar
because
to
it
Amy.
sounds nice.
It does sound nice.
I have no idea whether it's right.
Okie dokie. Gary, how's your Pluto knowledge?
Well, I mentioned Pluto, and I've put a date down. I put this down before I mentioned that he was a cartoon character. Maybe it was why he was called Pluto. So that's because that was what everyone was talking about at the time. But the date I put is just a little bit before that. But I've got 1928.
1928.
That's my thinking.
Interesting. 1750 all the way up to 1928. What do you think at home on this one? When was Pluto discovered? 1930, Gary. Well played. Yeah. Your logic was absolutely right. Do you know it was Pluto, the cartoon character, it's in the same year?
Oh, is that right?
So it must have been. It was in the news, and they called him Pluto. So your logic was perfect, and your answer was almost perfect. Point to Gary. Next question. Britain's first Indian restaurant is opened. In what year was Britain's first Indian restaurant opened? What do we reckon on this one? Amy, what was your thinking here?
Not a lot of thinking. I just thought maybe it was a little bit earlier than I expected. So I've gone 1958.
1958. Romilly, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking after partition, maybe.
Okay.
And so I have thought 1950.
1950, not a million miles away from Amy. Gary, what are you thinking?
Well, there was one opposite my house in it would have been 70.
It's helpful being a bit older in this round, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I have gone nearer the beginning of the century. There must have been loads of Indians here at this point.
1920, says Gary. James, what do you think?
My gut was saying sort of 70s, but my guts usually fail me when it comes to Indian restaurants. So I've stuck with 70s.
Wow.
But I've gone for 18s.
Oh, he did the old switcheroo.
Wow.
How about that? Let's find out, Sherry. What do you think at home on this one? When was the first Indian restaurant in Britain opened?
1810.
Wow. 1810. James, you get a point. The Hindustani Coffee House was opened in London by Dean Mohammed in 1810. Very well done if you went early on that one at home. Mary I, later known as Bloody Mary, is born. When did that happen?
Mate.
Yeah, I know.
It's like...
That's the perfect sound of what everyone's thinking, mate.
Go for it.
Cool. OK, what do we think at home on this one? I know some people might get it bang on. I don't think that's going to happen here. It certainly wouldn't be if I was playing. Tyler, what's your guess? 10:56 says Tyler. Bonnie, what are you saying?
I was thinking Tudors, but I think I've gone a little bit late. 1682.
1682 says Bonnie. Charlie.
No idea, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. 1508.
1508. And Myra, any thought here?
I can't remember whether Bloody Mary was one of Henry's, but I guess that she was. And I remember he's Tudor and he's 15-something, and I thought it must be late enough into the Tudors for him to have a kid. So I've just guessed at 1588.
1588. What have you got at home on this one? Let's find out, shall we? When was Bloody Mary born and who scored the point? 1516. Charlie. Within 8 years.
I swear. Charlie. Take the earpiece out now. All right?
I'm actually going red. I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Very well played. Next one. Custard powder is invented in the UK.
I know this one. No,
yeah,
I really don't.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Custard powder. That's good. That's a nice one because you can get it wrong and not feel stupid. We're all in. Bonnie, what do you think on this?
Well, I felt that it needed to be... It was obviously pre-war. I don't know. I'm not going to... 1921.
That's when a lot of things were invented in that world, isn't it? Yeah, that sounds perfectly reasonable to me. 1921. Charlie.
I just had a weird feeling that this is going to be a ridiculous answer.
Okay.
So I've given you a ridiculous answer.
1869.
Yeah.
Just saying. Myra.
Well, my reasoning was... This sounds like a war thing. This sounds like a rationing necessity thing. Yeah. So it's got to be long enough into the war for that logic to have kicked in, but not towards the end of the war. So I've put 1940, but I'd like to change it to 1869.
Yes. No kidding. I think we all would. Good logic, though.
I think so.
Tyler, any logic for you? Have you written down a number?
I've written down a number.
Lovely.
I thought it was just that big thing that was going off in the 70s, you know?
1973, you never know.
But after listening to the explanations over here, I definitely would be rubbing out my answer. 1973,
so all the way from 1869 to 1973. What do you think at home on this? When was it invented? Let's find out, shall we? Who scored a point? Oh, Charlie.
It's brilliant.
Wow.
Superb.
It's going well, isn't it? Invented by Bird, from Bird's Custard.
Oh.
Custard powder.
Yes, I'm sure Charlie could tell us.
I just want to talk.
One final question in this round. Can Charlie complete the clean sweep?
Yes.
Let's find out, shall we? Charlemagne is crowned Emperor of the Romans on Christmas Day. In what year did that happen?
We're going for it, Charlie.
Charlie, what should we put?
Do you remember it?
I don't know.
Rich, when was the Romans? It was like...
When was the Romans?
Just to have that.
They were a long time ago, for sure, the Romans. What do you reckon on this one? Charlie, we start with you. What have you gone with here?
There we go.
10-10. 10-10.
Why not?
Myra.
I've gone Maverick.
Oh.
I've gone after, much after.
Much after.
I wonder whether this is a trick question and the crowning of the Emperor of the Romans is some sort of... It was either a Christmas hit or it's some secret society thing. Or there's something... And we're all sat here thinking about, Colosseums and what have you.
Yes.
But actually, we should be thinking... So I've gone for top 10 Christmas number 1, 1978.
78. Tyler, what are we saying?
865.
865, a long time ago.
Your face says that. It was actually my most sensible suggestion. My most sensible answer this whole...
I think it's better than 1978.
OK, fine. Thank you.
Bonnie, what
Well,
do you say?
I just picked a random number, and if it isn't the right number, at least it was time for coffee. 11:30.
11:30. 11:30.
Christmas Day coffee.
Yeah. So all the way from 865 to 1978. It's
quite the rule.
Listen, you said you were going Maverick. I don't think you were going to go that Maverick. What have you gone for at home on this one? When was Charlemagne crowned? Who scored the last point of the round? Tyler, look at that.
I'll take it.
Tyler with 865. Very, very well done.
Yeah, don't sleep on me. Don't sleep on me.
Nice. The BBC broadcast the first TV sitcom. When was that? We need to be as closer than anyone else on this one. So, everyone happy? Max, what's your thinking here?
I was sort of thinking broadcast flight. I was thinking the 66 World Cup. So I was thinking maybe a little bit before that. So I've gone 1958.
1958? Yeah. Sounds reasonable to me. Ollie, what are you thinking?
Well, extraordinarily, I've chosen exactly the same date as Max.
1958.
Yeah, my thinking being that I can't remember sitcoms pre-war. Not to say there weren't, but I can't remember any. And I know they were around in the 60s and 70s, so I think the 50s feels about right. You've got the coronation, you've got Everest, you've got a few things happening. Sitcoms.
Then some sitcoms. Scarlett, what have you said
I also had 1958, but then changed to 1962. I don't know why I decided to add a few years on.
What's
going on with 1958?
I put 62 and then...
What did you put in our team?
Max went to 62 and went down to 58.
No way.
Whoa.
That's weird.
Whoa, this is crazy. Susie, don't spoil it.
I thought the coronation was the biggest TV event that happened in this country post-war, up to the World Cup. So I thought, with everyone buying televisions, that's when the BBC changed their game, and I went 1953.
Interesting. Interesting. So 53. So 53, 58, 58, 62. What do you think at home on this one? I tell you, it was a sitcom called Pinwright's Progress, about a shopkeeper. But in what year was it first broadcast? Who scored the point? 1946. Wow. Susie, you get yourself a point.
Oh.
Wow, that's madness, isn't it? 1946, someone just told me in my ear it was broadcast live.
Wow.
A live sitcom in 1946.
Wow.
I mean, they've been through the war. They're probably...
they're ready.
What's the worst that can happen? You fluff a line.
Yeah.
Ciabatta bread is invented in the Italian province of Rovigo. Something funny, Clive?
Well, it's an interesting thing to try and get the date of.
Yeah. But at least
Don't tell me you've done a documentary on this.
Sadly not.
The good news is, though, you cannot look stupid.
Yeah. Was it our lifetime when this happened, or was it 3,000 years ago?
That's the question, isn't it?
Any answer could be accurate.
They might as well call this round that.
Yes.
All you've got to be is closest. That's the good news. Everyone in? Clive, you're going to start us off. What do you think?
Well, I thought I might go 1951, but I went with 1751.
Okay. I mean, why not?
Because it might have been 1451.
Listen, bread's been around a long time.
It has.
That's all I'm saying. Latalo, what are you saying?
I've gone for 1898.
1898, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I went 1842.
Oh.
I did have 17-something and I changed my mind.
Okay.
I went the other way.
1817. Alison, tell us the right answer.
I'm going for 1912.
Okay, cool.
1912.
I don't
Which
have
month?
a clue.
Yeah.
April. It's a big month.
1912. I like the way you write a date as well.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of when sliced white bread was, when was sliced bread invented?
Yeah,
Well, ciabatta was apparently the best thing since sliced white.
There we go.
Anyway.
Shall we find out? What have you written at home? What have you got on this? When was ciabatta bread invented? Who's on the point? 1980. Shall I tell you who's got the point? It's Alison.
Of course.
1982. It was the Italians apparently were trying to find a rival to the baguette and invented ciabatta.
Wow.
1982. Very well done if you knew that. I wonder if you could tell me when this happened. The first British telephone directory is published.
Latalo,
what are you thinking here?
I've gone 1913.
Yeah, that doesn't sound crazy. Like, the end of the previous century was the telephone itself, wasn't it? So why not Sarah? What are you thinking?
I went 1986.
Ooh. 1986?
That's interesting.
After the Ciabatta.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, now we have Ciabatta, we probably need a telephone directory.
Do you think when I was 15 years old we didn't have a telephone directory?
Do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking I can remember my nana having a telephone. Did she look up her friends' phone numbers in the telephone directory then? Probably not. So that's where it...
I said they were phasing the telephone directories out.
Out by 1986. Exactly. Sort of the end of the telephone directory era, by which we mean that might not be right. By which we also mean you are a great deal younger than us, Sarah, so it's good news in a way. Addison, what are you saying?
I went for... Well, I definitely knew it was after telephones were invented.
Yes, good.
So I thought I'd go for 1971.
Clive, what are you saying?
I went really early. I went 1890, because I think they must have been around pretty quickly. But
I was going to say, once people have got telephones, someone would have the idea of... Sarah would have the bright idea of putting them all in a book and charging advertising, wouldn't they? Yeah. Let's find out, shall we? When was the first British telephone directory published? Who has scored the point? 1880, Clive. Very well done.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Just 10 years out. 1880 is the answer. Mark Antony is born. That's like the Roman Mark Antony, not some guy you went to school with.
When you say write down the year...
Yeah.
Yeah.
26,000.
Yeah. That's why I haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
What would you go for now at home? Mallory, what are you thinking, Mark Antony?
50 AD.
50 AD, says Mallory. Doesn't sound crazy. Matt, what are you saying?
Yeah, I've got a bit just got a bit carried away there. 750.
750 AD, says Matt. Chris?
I've gone for 87.
87, says Chris. And Ranveer?
I've gone 900 AD.
900, says Ranveer.
Can't be true.
What do we think at home? When was Mark Antony born? 83 BC.
Wow.
No, it goes to you, Mallory. 83 BC.
BC.
Yeah, BC.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
Mallory, you get yourself a point. That leaderboard is getting tighter and tighter, I have to say. The next thing I'd love you to give me a year for is this. Toilet paper is sold commercially for the first time. Huh. Everybody in? Yeah. Matt, what are you thinking on this? It's sort of impossible.
I was sort of thinking World Wars.
Okay.
World War I, would they have had maybe... Yes, so I went pre-1900s.
So 1890, says Matt. Chris, what are you thinking here?
1926.
1926.
And I will take AD or BC.
Okay, exactly. So, either side of the birth of Christ.
1926, I think.
1926, it was sold commercially. Ranveer,
I
what are you
went
thinking?
along Matt's and I went 1901.
1901. We're all in very similar places at the moment. Mallory, what are you thinking?
I went 1910.
We're all very similar, 1910. But listen, we're all within 36 years of each other. What do we think at home here? When was toilet paper sold commercially for the first time? Who has scored a point? 1857, Matt Dawson. Well done, Matt. Nicely done. Your instinct absolutely right. Very well done if you were close to that one at home. James Naismith's newly invented game basketball is played for the first time. Quite cool to just be one guy who invented a big sport like basketball.
Yeah.
What do we think at home on this one? Basketball. Do you have any knowledge on this? Diane, what do you think here?
Well, I went for the 1800s, 1853.
Yeah, it sounds...
Sounds just right.
Yeah. Oh, and you're in the same century?
I went for 1899, so yes.
Yeah, same century. Adam, our professional sportsman, I don't know if it will help.
Similar, 1822.
1822, we're all in the 19th century. Jenny?
I'm 1890.
1890, and once again, what a lovely drawing.
Oh,
let's have a look, Jenny.
No, it's a poor one.
Oh, it's
not a poor one.
That looks like my patio heater.
Let's find out, shall we? When was basketball played and who has scored the point? Jenny! Whoa.
The least 40 person.
Wow, that's very close.
Very
well played,
close.
Jenny.
Good one.
It was 1891. Thomas Lord founds a cricket ground in Marylebone. So essentially, when Lord's was founded. OK, everyone is in. What do you think at home? What answer have you given on this one? Johnny, we start with you. Any clues?
I've gone for 1916.
Right in the middle of the First World War.
Yeah.
He's thinking, do you know what people need? Cricket.
Yeah.
So 1916. Listen, it's a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shobna, where are you on this?
I've gone early.
1801. I think I'd be in the 19th century somewhere. Dermot, where are you?
Well, I'm pretty close to Shobna, and I think she's got me there. But I was thinking perhaps it's more than 200 years old.
OK. 1787. So we're in 3 completely different centuries so far. Laura, where are you?
Yeah, I'm very close to Dermot and Shobna as well. I've gone earlier because I thought this could be one of those answers that is early 1800s perhaps, or it could be one of these shocking, ridiculous...
1420.
Yeah. So I thought if I go pretty early I could do that, but...
1780
Who
is certainly
knows?
the earliest there. So we've got 1780, 1787, 1801 and 1916. Let's find out, shall we? When did Thomas Lord set up that cricket ground? Who scored a point? 1780. Whoa! Monaghan. Dermot, you get 2 points if you're bang on. It doesn't happen very often, so I'm going to give you 2 points. Wow, how about that? Very, very nicely done. 1787. You can't get closer than that. Very well done if you match Dermot at home. Paleontologist Barnum Brown discovers the first Tyrannosaurus rex fossil. When did that happen? What do you reckon on this one? GF, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm a bit of a dinosaur, so I should have known this, shouldn't I? I've gone for 1800.
1800. Yeah, I think I'd be not a million miles from that, I think. Sophie, what are you thinking?
I'm a bit of a cold-blooded predator, so I should have known this. I put 1792.
Oh, so close. Really close.
Yeah.
Babatunde.
I've got this wrong. I went 1942.
But you know, but it might be, right?
No.
I don't remember a time before. Yeah, I mean, listen, who knows? Gabby, what do you think?
I'm going there as well. I'm going 1902.
1902. Whoa. So 3 different centuries here. What do we think at home on this one? When do you think it was found? Should we find out? See who scored a point? 1902.
Oh,
Gabby,
my
Roslyn.
Oh, my.
Gabby.
That's never happened in my life.
2 points for you.
Wow.
I have 2 points to give to you because you are bang on. Well done.
Brilliant.
He was named after P.T. Barnum, the circus guy.
Yeah.
We so rarely give away 2 points in that round, Gabby. Very well played. Next one. A professional actress appears on the English stage for the first time in a production of Othello. What do you reckon at home on this one? Any clues? OK, everyone's in. This is a really tough one. Sophie, what were you thinking here?
I think I definitely learnt this at some point.
Oh, no.
I forgot, so I consulted the ancestors, and they said 1856.
1856. Come on, ancestors. Babatunde, what are you saying?
My teachers at Central are going to be going crazy. I put 1850.
1850. So, listen, you've both been taught it, apparently. Gabby, what are you thinking?
I thought either because there's one very recently that it happened, and everyone was saying it was the first time in history. But I've gone hundreds of years ago.
You're on 1768. And Jeff?
Same ballpark as Sophie and Babatunde, really. 1870.
1870, yeah. So listen, we're not too far apart from each other here, are we? Shall we find out? A professional actress appears on the English stage for the first time. When did it happen? And who scored a point? 1660. Whoa. Gabby, you get yourself a point. Very well done. First woman to play Desdemona, apparently Margaret Hughes or Anne Marshall. Everyone had previously been forbidden to do it.